Beautiful pollen. Look at that bright orange pollen they're bringing in. Look at that pollen. I can't recall off the top of my head what produces nice bright orange pollen like that, but either way, that's just something to see there too. Alright, hey, thanks for joining us again. We're over here at hive number 2. So if you look back at last week's video, I believe this hive may have had a new queen hatch. Or, if I stand corrected, I was able to, yeah, that's right. This hive does have a queen, because I caged her. However, I don't recall seeing too many eggs last time, so I kind of suspect she was a virgin queen. And while I'm on the topic, thanks for everybody on Instagram for watching that video. I think it's about to exceed 10,000 views, which is a first. That's kind of cool. Yeah, so this week, really, again, checking for eggs, checking for swarm cells, since we're in swarm season and everything. Just checking the overall health of this colony. I did reduce the colony down to a single deep brood chamber. As you can see, the queen excluders right there. And reduced this deep to a 9 frame. I did not do that with the traditional honey super, the medium. However, I plan to, because I just bought this spacer tool, and I'm going to use that to evenly space the frames in the medium and now the deep super, just to get them equally spaced apart, of course, but the bees will draw out, hopefully, they'll draw out the frames nice and thick. And believe it or not, you can yield a larger, sorry about the fail, I forget about that. You can actually yield a larger honey harvest by running 9 frames than 10 frames. Seems weird, but it's been proven. Okay. Like usually, give them some smoke up top. Give them some smoke at the entrance. Get stuff out of the way so I can actually move around freely. I got my favorite tools other than the hive tool, my flashlight and my pen for marking frames that have a queen cell or queen cup. Alright, so like usual, enough of me yapping about nothing that matters. Let's see how they're doing. Okay. Not too shabby, I'd say. So, some pretty nice drawn wax. Hopefully I can feel some weight to the honey super. Well, the medium super at least, and yeah, believe it or not, it actually has a decent amount of weight to it. So I did have a few new frames I put in here. I'm going to pull one out so I can run it as a 9 frame. Hopefully that point of view is good for you. Yeah, well, I don't think I want to pull that one, because they're starting to work that. There's got to be one in here. I see why some folks wear plastic gloves over their regular hive gloves, because these things get quite sticky. Well, out of all the frames, it's really hard to say. I kind of wish these 2 sides were on one, because they both have one side that really just doesn't have much. Let's see, what else we got here? You know what? I do have other colonies that could use a boost, so I guess it doesn't really matter which one I grab, since this colony is doing quite well, drawing out these frames and storing some nectar, this is what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'm just gonna move one of these into another colony that could use a boost. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, this is fine. Alright. So, not gonna rack my head over that because I have other colonies that they all have honey supers on, but some supers, you know, as y'all know and have probably experienced, just don't get drawn out as fast as you'd like. Alright, so I know this isn't the most fun thing to watch, but I'm just trying to get each frame into a slot here. And once you get that lined up a little, there we go. Golly. Get some sticky fingers to it. And once you get that lined up, boom. There we go. To determine if that's straight or not. It's kind of got another stinger actually poking me through the glove. I guess it's better than being stung full on. Alright, let me give these girls some smoke. Calm them down a little. Yeah, so this thing ain't bad, especially for 10 bucks. Can't go wrong. Yeah, there you go. Once you get each frame lined up in between the groove of the spacer, makes pretty easy work, and everything's evenly spaced. Yeah, 10 bucks off Amazon. Pretty good tool. And then I'm gonna do the same for the deep. Yeah, so that's a frame I'm gonna swap into another colony. Bump the camera. Yeah, so that's got some pretty nice weight to it. And then this one, having done the same last week, reducing it down to a 9 frame, you can see the brighter wax, the whiter wax. They're definitely storing some honey. And then we got some, that's probably, yeah, that's a new frame. So they've joined it together. Let's see. Yeah, we can pull a few frames. So I just eyeballed that last week. So actually, you know what? Before I start moving too much stuff around, let's see. And this is just pure curiosity. Let's see how accurate I was. I was a little off on some of them, but overall, not too bad as far as spacing goes, I guess. Got a pretty good eye. Let's see, probably angle the camera down just a tad. I'm getting all sorts of sticky stuff on it, which is probably why the bees like attacking the camera. But yeah, let's pull a few frames, see how these feel. They should have some nice weight to them. And they definitely do, if you can see that. Nice glistening nectar, which if you give it enough time, nice little honey. And I don't want to disturb them too much. Let's pull this one. And one of the other reasons I haven't mentioned yet why I'm pulling frames out of the super is somebody made a comment on either, well, Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. I really can't remember, off of last week's video. It said something along the lines of, you know, I should go back in a few days and check the top boxes, because if for some reason I had a virgin queen running around, you know, she'd be trapped in the top box, which is now the deep honey super, unable to get out, unable to mate. So I'm just giving it a quick look over, and since the bees are definitely drawing out the more established frames, I'm going to do a few things real quick and move these two newer frames that I ended up checkerboarding. I'm just going to move them to the outside so they can really manipulate the nectar on the drawn out frames, and I'll put them more towards the center, since that's typically how the bees work. They work from the inside out. And then use the spacer again, get things situated, and then we'll move into routine inspection of the brood chamber, which is on the bottom now. For some reason, this thing, it works, but I don't think it's my eyes. It looks like they're cockeyed, like they're not straight. They're spaced evenly, which I guess makes sense, but they're slanted a little, so I don't know if that's me. There we go. Alright, that looks better. Alright, just give them a little smoke, calm them down. Routine hive inspection. Once I get into the bottom box, checking for brood at this point. So like I was saying before, I caged the queen last week, which kind of reminds me to get the queen cage out. This thing works pretty good. First time using it, I posted a little bit of a blooper video. I had the queen in there, got pretty excited. Holding it like this, bad idea, because as you can see it takes no pressure at all, and it already has a gap. No pressure at all. Open it, she got out. A little bit of a blooper video. So that's on our Instagram just because it was a short video. Part of another hive inspection video, but I just wanted to share that with people. Oh yeah, and then something else somebody mentioned, which I've had a lot of good feedback this year. Somebody else mentioned to check your queen excluder just in case the queen is on there. And I really appreciate the feedback I'm getting this year and the comments on the content that we post, because for whatever reason, that is just something that's never crossed my mind before. And see a lot of honey towards the top of the frames, which, again, not to get discouraged, but we'll just see how it looks as we go through. So hopefully, if this colony did have a virgin queen, she should be mated by now. Like usual, outside frame, a lot of nectar, food in the form of pollen, which is fine. But as we move through, hopefully we start seeing some capped brood. Looks like a whole bunch of drones. I do see a bee with some pollen, and that's kind of up for debate, meaning you can't judge a hive's health based off the front entrance, but some people say if you see bees bringing in pollen, is because they're feeding eggs and larvae. Well, I feel like there's truth to both sides of that. Like, they are feeding eggs and larvae if they have some, but if they don't have any, they may just be starving it. So we are 3 frames into it. Still on food. Alright, so we have, let's see what we got going on here, and I need the flashlight. So we got some open cells, which we don't see nectar. So at this point, I'm really checking for eggs. I don't see any eggs there. Again, on this side, a lot of open cells. I don't see any eggs there either. Alright. Just keep going through. Slow process sometimes. Got some queen cups, but no egg in them. And no eggs in those cells. Yeah, if this, hopefully I can find that queen again, see if she's still the same size, and if she is, for the first time, I might actually end up pinching her, meaning killing her, making this hive truly queenless. Yeah, this is the middle frame, and if you can see that, that is all food. So that's kind of a sign that they don't have a queen. Haven't moved through all the frames just yet, so we'll see. We'll see how the rest looks. Yeah, so I was saying, might end up pinching her for the first time and moving a frame of eggs from another hive over here so they can hopefully produce some queen cells. Queen cups, really. And get this colony going. Queen rate at least. This will be another good frame to check. A lot of open brood in the center, or open cells, no brood. And it's not looking good. Alright. Yeah, if I can find that virgin queen again, it'll become decision time at that point. Let's see what we have there. Let's see if they'd have to, they need an egg to put it in there, so let's see. They got a cup drawn. No egg. And that would be a good frame for eggs. Have some eggs. Let's take a closer look. I also see a cell with multiple eggs, which is definitely not what you want to see. However, if you have quite a few cells with single eggs, which is what you want, it means you have a queen and she's laying. If you have a cell with multiple eggs here and there, that might just mean you had a virgin or a new queen she drops, as she's learning how to lay eggs, she may have just dropped multiple eggs in the beginning. Alright, that's good. Good to see. So they are queen right, and in fact, if I get, and I know this won't come up on camera, so I'm not even going to try and show you because the comb is so dark. But if you get the flashlight at just the right angle. Alright, so let's see. Thinking now. So they are queen right. Well, they have eggs. However, they did draw out a swarm cell at the bottom. So at this point, I really want to try and find the queen, see how she's looking. If they have the queen, I'll just tear down that swarm cell to, try and delay any ideas of swarming with an egg in it. It was just a dry cell. But yeah, out of all the frames, it's kind of strange. There's just one frame that has a decent amount of eggs in it, and it's the 9th or the 8th one. All these other frames are they're pretty full with food, so I'm thinking they really don't have a lot of space for the queen to lay, because I'm thinking they were queenless for a while, and the bees doing what the bees do. If the cells don't have eggs in them, they fill them in with honey, and now it's a bit of a honey-bound situation. I wish I could find that queen again. That'd be pretty nice. Yeah, so it looks like they made themselves a little honey-bound, and the queen doesn't really have too many cells to lay eggs in. So if that's the case, I might still move a frame over from another colony that has a lot of open space, open cells, and it looks like she's making use of this. Or is she? Let's turn it around. Hard to say, but what I am going to do, because this frame has more open cells than the others, let's see, move a few things around really. So the 9th, let's see, the 9th, 8th, I can't remember already, I'm going to double check. The 8th or 9th frame had quite a few eggs in it. I think it's this one. She's laying on this one. It'd be nice to find her this time around and see what she's looking like, because if I remember right, she was looking pretty small last time. So I think I'm going to move this frame towards the center. put this back into the 10th position. And I'm just going to move through them again quickly. Well, starting with this one. I really want to find the queen again. Really just out of curiosity. I just want to see if she looks any bigger than last time, because she seemed really small, which makes me think she may have been a virgin queen, but there's eggs in this colony now, so they have a laying queen. They also seem to be a little on the honey-bound side. So again, I might end up moving a frame from another colony that has plenty of space. Space as in open cells. I might move one over here just to give the queen more space to lay eggs in. And they have a lot of food. Watch her be on one of these first few frames. Yeah, even though I found some eggs, I might still end up moving a frame from another colony, just because there's really not as many eggs as I'd like to see, and with a concern being the queen that I found last time may have been a virgin queen. There's just a few too many uncertainties with this colony. So yeah, I might end up doing that off camera just to give them a boost. Alright, well, no signs of a queen there. Let's see. I doubt she'd be on this frame because the bees are just hovering around all the nectar they're storing. But, you know, been wrong before. Alright, yeah. I don't see her at all. There's not too many great signs that they have a queen, or if they do, maybe not the best laying queen, that's for sure. Or maybe she's trying and just doesn't have enough room because they've packed so much nectar and pollen on all the frames. So I'll just have to come back to this one. You know what I'm gonna do though? I'm gonna give him a boost right now while I'm here. Alright, let me get a frame from another colony. Let me identify a good frame to move to another colony first. Probably should have did that before I put that last frame in. Let's see, which one had eggs? There's like one of these middle ones. 6. Let's move the center frame. I'm just looking in the queen cups. I don't see any eggs or anything. And then this side, yeah, that side's got a lot of open brood, or yeah, right, open cells. I'm just trying to pick a good candidate to move to another colony. Maybe this one here, maybe. Yeah, it's got a lot of food. Alright, let me just shake them off. And I'm going to move this one over to frame, or Hive 1, and grab a frame that has some nice eggs in it over here. And let me double check. Let me find the frame that did have some eggs on it. I think it's this one here that has the swarm cell at the bottom. Yeah. Alright, so what? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So the original frame that has eggs in it will be in the 5th position, and the frame I'm going to grab from hive number 1, I'm going to put that in the 4th position. Let's see what happens. Alright. So if you look at my Hive 1 inspection video, you see this. Hopefully it comes up on camera. But this frame has a ton of eggs. It's scattered throughout the entire frame on both sides. 3, 4, that's the 5th position. We got a whole bunch of food right next to it. So 5 and 6. So frames 5 and 6 on this colony. I'm going to try and mark them just to give myself something to remember. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just need a circle. Kind of coming up with my own legend system. So a star has a queen cell. Something else will have a queen, or a queen cup, a dry cell. A queen cup is a star. I'll make something else when I find a true queen cell. A circle, I'll show you. A circle and an E are frames with eggs. And I'm only doing that on the colonies that aren't looking so good, to where it gives me something to remember to follow up with next week. And then, as a way to say thank you, this was one of the frames I pulled out of Hive 2's medium super that they've drawn out nice wax and started storing some nectar too on this side, wax on this side. And as a way of saying thank you for the eggs, I'm going to slide this one into Hive 1's super. Alright, well that does it for the inspection portion of Hive 2. This video, not entirely sure, and I hate saying that because I find myself saying that more this year than in the previous years. So even though they had a small patch of eggs on what is now frame 5, which typically you could say they're queen right, but you would suspect that the queen would lay a little more. So there's a few things going on here. They were queenless for a while, found what I suspected to be a virgin queen last week. It's possible she made it and returned. It's possible she made it and returned since last week, which is why I found a small patch of eggs there. However, because they were queenless for a while, it looks like the bees may have been packing all the cells with nectar, so they become kind of honey bound, and now the queen doesn't have enough space to lay eggs in. So I grabbed, as you saw, I grabbed one frame of eggs from Hive 1, and that frame was wide open. Nice strong cells, no food stored. So if this hive is truly queen right, the queen does have, well, one side was fully packed with eggs, so it'll give them a boost as well. The other side wasn't, it just had a nice strong comb. So, and that's in the 5th position, facing the right. So next week I should definitely pay attention to that frame, the right side of it, and it should be full of eggs. And if it is, that means they're queen right. And if it isn't, obviously they aren't, or they don't have a good laying queen. So if that is the case, on the left side, the side of the frame that has nice drawn wax and a whole bunch of eggs from Hive 1, if they're not satisfied with the queen, I suspect that some of those cells might be drawn out and start looking like queen cups and queen cells, to where they'll most likely supersede her. So just like anything else in beekeeping, you don't get all your answers up front. You have to let some time go by, week after week, and the hives will start showing you signs as far as what they have going on. So a bit longer of a video. I might condense some of it down as I'm going through the hive looking for the queen that I was not able to find this week. Yeah, so we'll see how it looks next week, next Sunday. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Longer video, but that's just how things go sometimes. Please subscribe if you haven't, and if you ring the bell, you'll receive notifications of future videos. Alright, hopefully you enjoyed hive number 2's routine inspection, which this hive kind of keeps going back and forth, puzzling me whether they're doing well or not. So it's just how things go, I guess. Definitely has some weight to it. Alright, back here over at hive number 2, and this is just one of the cool things about managing multiple colonies. So I moved a frame of eggs from hive number 1 into hive number 2. I found a frame of eggs, which I believe I left in the 5th position or 6th, and I moved the frame from hive 1 and put it in the 4th or 5th position. Either way, I guess it doesn't matter. It's in the center of the box, basically, so I know where it is, and I marked it with a pen too, with a circle and an E. So after inspecting hive number 3, I reduced all the colonies down except one, because it was already a single deep. I reduced all the colonies down to a single brood chamber last week. So the bees have been confined to one box, and the queen as well. So that colony is queen right. They had a queen hatched from the previous weeks, made it return. I mean, she's looking good. Nice fat abdomen, exactly what you want to see, and cells and cells and frames of eggs, right? Perfect. However, I found a frame, which I'll show you in a second, in the top box that apparently had an egg in it, because the bees turned it into a capped queen cell, fully capped. So it should be hatching in the next few days. So, considering hive number 2 is possibly queenless, not looking the best, because I couldn't find the queen, or the queen just wasn't performing that well, I'm going to introduce that frame into this colony and then just check on it as the weeks go by, just like everything else. So let me go grab that frame and show you. So if this colony does have a queen, they can, or she can, easily go through, sting the cell, be done with it, and move on. However, if they are in need of a queen, and she may have swarmed, I'm just going to drop this in there and then check on them as the weeks go by to see how things change. Alright, let's get back into this colony real quick. Yeah, I marked, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4 frames. 5 and 6 are the ones that have eggs. So I'm just going to double check the very first frame here. That has a lot of food. Perfect. A lot of food. I'm going to try and shake. It would help if you're facing the right way. I'm going to shake most of the bees off just to make sure this colony does have a queen. She's not on here. Because that frame is going to go into hive number 3's top deep, which is honey super. And then I'm going to drop this one into the position and grab my pen, just never where you want it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then right where all the wax is, of course. I'll try and write. Come on, I need to get a better pen. Try and write queen cell and queen cups. I don't know. Queen cell. That's gonna be just. It's gonna have to be good enough for now. All right, so try and smoke them down so I don't squish them, and then all I have to do is add the frame that I just stole from this one to the top box, like I said. Over in 3. It's got some weight to it. All right. Where's the? Oh, it's on there. All right, so that's my last ditch effort to get hive number 2 in a better spot. All right, hey, thanks for watching again. Bull's Farm, Jacksonville, North Carolina. Tune in next week, and we'll see if that queen cell is hatched out. And then in the weeks to come, maybe she will have returned, ate it, and started rebuilding this colony. All right, until next week.